Greetings. This is Adam Rafferty, and in this series of lessons, I'm going to teach you how to play my arrangement of the Ray Charles classic, Hallelujah, I Love Her So. I can't tell you what year this is from or what album it's from. I think it's from somewhere in the 50s. I didn't do my Wikipedia homework as I was putting this lesson together because I've been really busy with the music. Now, I've got a couple notes that I would like to describe to you. Okay, so here they are. I'm reading off my cheat sheet. It's in standard tuning. Okay. Now, in the YouTube arrangement that you might have seen, I play this in the key of E. However, many students asked me for this tune, and as I was practicing at home in the key of E, I felt that it was really difficult. And so I've changed the key to the key of D, and that's what I'm going to teach you. So it's a little bit different from the YouTube arrangement. And I'm going to show you exactly the move right now that I find really difficult. And I'll probably reiterate this. It's when it was in the key of E originally, there's this fingering, and I myself felt that I was missing that too much of the time. And if I was missing it, then it would be really tricky for students. It's just an awkward fingering. So a whole step down makes it much easier. So there's a couple things that have shifted. Now, the original Ray Charles recording, I believe, with the big band, is in the key of B flat. And the beauty of this piece basically lies in the syncopation between the melody and the bass line. So I'm really going to be kind of driving that point home, the way these two lines play against each other. Okay, so there are some funny little melody twists where I tried to figure out how to get Ray Charles's bluesy vocal licks onto the guitar. And I will point out to you the differences in the arrangements of the key of E arrangement, which you can see on YouTube, and the key of D, which is the more playable arrangement. Now, as I'm filming this, we are in the COVID-19 era of not being on tour, if you're a guy like me. So moving forward, I'm envisioning that I will play this in the key of D, the way I'm going to show you moving forward as if and when touring starts again. So let's get started with the lessons. All right, go on to the next video. All righty, let's look at the first 4 bars of the intro of Hallelujah, I Love Her So. We are in the key of D, and it's a pickup. It's going to sound like this. Let me sing it to you first. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, ba-bom, ba-bom, be-ba-do-ba-do, da-da. So notice where it came in. 1, 2, 3, ba-bom, ba-bom. So that's the rhythmic placement. Let me show you the fingerings. And remember, this is the intro before the vocals come in. So we're going to start at the 2nd fret, E string, and we're going to slur. And then we're going to play the 4th fret. So it's 2, 3, 4. And then the open 5th string. So the rhythm is this: 1, 2, 3. Kind of like the Pink Panther rhythm, actually. Next, we're going to, this is kind of a tricky move. We're getting into the tricky moves right away. We're going to do a backstrike with the right hand on the note B, which is the high E string, 7th fret. Except, and we've got to do a pull-off. Now, I'm fingering this in such a way, if you'll see, that my first finger it's sort of flexed, like if you could imagine you're just barring one string, so that I can get the tip of the first finger under the B string to mute the B strings. I shouldn't be hearing G string there, sorry. So this is very hard to describe what I'm doing with my left hand, but I'm muting everything. I'm even using my second finger lightly so that if I do a backstrike, I'm just hearing the high E string. And this is a devilishly tricky move, but that's how I do it. Sorry. Okay, let's keep going. Now watch. Okay, let me show you what I did there. After the backstrike, we're going to do 2 to 3 hammer on the B string, and then we're going to slide down with the second finger and do a pull off. And then after that, 2 B minor chords. I'm actually not barring that. I'm just playing that note, and I'm muting the high E string with a curve in my first finger. See? That is not the top note. That is the top note. So the melody is... Okay. All together, I'm gonna now play that first little phrase for you. It's the first 2 bars with the pickup. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it? Now the second phrase is exactly the same, except the rhythm of the bar chords is going to be just a slight variation. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba, ba, ba. Again, 1, 2, 3, and. Okay. So now, first, let's do the whole first 4 bars of the intro. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And ideally, something that I'm not doing here, but something that I think I need to develop on this piece, because this is a new arrangement of the previous arrangement. It would be very nice to have that A sustain, so in the bass. So what I would like to ask you to aim for. Did you see how I'm letting that ring? That's something that I would like you to aim for. Let me try that again with the ringing A. So what I'm doing is, instead of making a big motion here where I land with my thumb, I might try to leave the thumb where it is and then do the back strike like that. See, I'm not moving my whole hand. I'm letting the thumb stay. That keeps it clear of the A string. That might be a better strategy. Well, that didn't work, but... that was it. One more time with the ringing A. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, and another thing that I'm going to keep adding and emphasizing is you don't need to play it exactly the way I'm playing, because I've got my own peculiar right hand technique that's been developing over the years. But I like to do motions like strums and hits that are very definite, and I sort of try to calculate in a way that I won't miss. It's like having a very big paintbrush, but learning to use it, or hopefully learning to use it as skillfully as you can and still get details. Okay, so let's go on to bars 5 through 8 in the next video. All right. All righty, we are at the intro, bars 5 through 8. And I'm going to show you how this goes now. Okay, so we start with the same kind of bass line. Okay, and then we're going to do what I call a hinge bar. It looks with your first finger as though you're playing a bar, but you're tilting the finger and you're just playing the first string. So, because that's going to set us up for what follows. Next, you slide up a fret, second finger on the 7th string. You've got the hinge bar at the 6th fret. Excuse me, not the 7th string, the 7th fret. So you're going. Okay. Next, we're going to have what's called, this is kind of a very jazzy chord. Let me show you how to play it. 6th fret, 5th fret, 6th fret, 5th fret. But you're going to add a low E string. And don't worry about it too much, but this is an E7, flat 9, sharp 5. Okay. And then what I do when I pluck it is I put my 3rd finger up on the high E string to mute it. You see what's going on over there? That's my anchor. Then 2nd finger on the B string, 1st finger on the D string, thumb on the 6th string, and I go. And I'm very much allowing brushing of other strings. So we're not only hearing the 3 that I'm plucking, but we're also hearing everything else I'm banging into. Next, we're going to go to one of my favorite chords that's uncomfortable for many of you. Don't worry, I'll show you an alternative. Looks like a G chord here. Thumb over the top to grab an A. So we're going to play it like this. Then we're going to put the pinky down. If that's uncomfortable, don't worry about it. Just use the open 5th string. Okay. It's totally fine. It's the same note. That's just an old jazz guitar habit of mine to do that thumb over the neck. Okay. Next chord, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. The way I like to do it is, of course, the harder way, because I get all the strings in there. But that can be a very hard, that's a D chord. If that is hard for you, what you can do is play something that looks like a C chord. You could even play a D7, but what I want you to do is stay away from I don't want to hear the G string on this. So you could actually go. If I'm crafty with the left hand, I can mute the G string. So the melody is bam, 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 bam. And we're adding chords to that. Okay. If that D chord is hard, you can also just play an octave there, meaning. Okay. What I'm going to do now is play the entire intro for you. All right, here we go. Nice and slow. 1, 2, check it. 2, check it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I lied to you. It's not the whole intro. What I do after that, you're going to come up here. You're going to play a piece of a D7 chord. That would be like a bar chord. We're just going to play the inner strings. And I go... So I'm being sloppy again with the right hand. I'm trying to get the G string in there, and I'm pulling off to the B string. And then that chord. I lied to you. I told you we were done, but then I looked at the sheet music and I saw, no, we're not done. Now, this is kind of an uncommon riff in D, this. But the reason that's sort of one of the compromises I've had to make. It fits perfectly in the key of E. It's very idiomatic to the guitar in the key of E. But like I said in the intro of this lesson series, there was just such a hard move in there. I felt that it would be too much of a stumbling block for you and the other students to just constantly fight this impossible move that I found myself fighting with this song in the key of E. So now I'm really going to play the intro for you, nice and slow. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then bang, and then we're at the top of the tune. Okay. And remember, this is jazzy and bluesy stuff. And what you want to do with all of my fingerings is adjust them to your technique as best as you can. The most important thing is keeping the feel. And so if there's something that I'm doing that's peculiar to me and it's easier for you to do it another way, by all means, do it another way. Do what feels best for you. Okay, let's go on to the first 2 bars of the melody. All right. All righty, we are back. And we're going to take a look at the melody of Hallelujah, I Love Her So. So we're going to start off with a D on the D string, like that. And then on beat number 2, a backstrike. And that can be with either your second or third finger here. Now something that I'm doing here is I'm kind of lifting my whole hand, and as I do the backstrike, I'm landing here on the 6th string because we're going to need that next. So it's going to look like this. Then you're going to slide down, second finger, 2nd fret, and you're going to do this on the melody. So 0, 1, 0, and 2. So when Ray Charles sings that, it sounds like, let me tell you about, but he actually goes, let me tell you. That's one of those little bluesy things that's hard to tell when you listen to somebody singing. It's a subtlety, but that's one of the little magical bluesy twists. So, next, or you don't have to pull that off. Next. 3 and 4. Now watch this. You're going to put your second finger on the 4th fret, first finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, and you're going to hammer to the 4th finger. That might be a little tricky. What you're going to need to do is, you know, if you have, imagine a C chord, you know that slant that you have when you have a C chord? You're going to have to turn your fingers so they're pointing a little bit more up to the ceiling so that you can get a curve in the pinky and do that hammer on and have that bass note. It is possible, but like I said, you have to turn your hand that way. You see what happens when I turn my hand that way? The fingers naturally curve. That's critical for a lot of my arrangements. If you're playing like with the pinky out on a diagonal, it won't work. But if you turn your second finger, the FU finger, like it's pointing at 11 o'clock for you, either 12 or even 11 o'clock, like I feel like I'm pointing up over that way with the second finger, my pinky lines up. So this, let me tell you about the girl I know. On the word know, he actually hammers or he slurs those notes when he's singing. So it's Most people would think it's just, but so if you go back and let me tell you about a girl I know, if you listen to the way he sings the word know, it's both of these notes. Of course, it's in the key of B flat. Now, as you get a feel for this melody, you want to pay attention to the bass being this independent force that sounds like this. Okay, so it's the marriage of that bass with that sort of pop and rhythm with these bluesy things. And if you can get that, that's most of the piece. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and. Okay, so you see after I do an open A string. Okay, then, so that's the first two bars. Okay, that's a move that you're probably going to have to practice a little bit. Now, just in case you're curious, I'm going to show you what that used to look like in the key of E. Now, what was nice about the key of E was that the bass line started on the low E, which is a little bit truer to the original, but we had... That is really hard. So it's much... I found that to be much easier. And the nice thing about this bass line, if you're going, that's key of E again, but you can also come down from a higher E. Okay, so it's totally fine for us to go. That's totally cool. Okay, that's kind of the way it's supposed to sound. Let's go to the next video and listen to bars and learn bars 3 and 4. All right. All righty. We are on bars 3 and 4 of the main melody of Hallelujah, I Love Her So. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the different move first. Okay, so this is going to seem a little out of context and weird, but when we get to the spot, you'll know what to do. Okay, so put your third finger on the 4th fret, 6th string, and your pinky on the 3rd string, 4th fret, and you're going to go, you're going to pull off to the 3rd string, 2nd fret. And then, so the deal is this: when we get to that spot in the melody, like what we played in bars 1 and 2, when the variation in bars 3 and 4 is this. Okay, so it's going to look like that's the first one. See what just happened there? So it's pretty much the same as the first 2 bars, but the variation is coming when we have the 4th fret in the bass. Let's do it one more time. I'm going to do it nice and slow for you. Okay? Chick it to chick it to chick it to chick it to 1, 2, ready, and. Alrighty, let's go on to bars 5 and 6 of the melody. All right. Alrighty, we are at bars 5 and 6 of the melody of Hallelujah, I Love Her So. And it's going to start the same way we've been doing these phrases. So D string, and then the backstrike with the pull off, and now watch with no bass note, okay? I like doing the bend there with my 3rd finger. Now watch this. We've got, this is called an A flat 7 flat 5 chord. Let me show you. We're going to go ba ba ba. Okay. And I'll give you a coming attraction of bar 7. We can strum this a few different ways. I wrote this in the tablature because it behaves musically. Let me show you. That's a G9 chord. You could play it like this. But another thing in reality that I like to play is just this. Let me show you what that is. Just 2 notes there and a G. And you can also do it like that. You don't need to do the thumb over the top. The thing that you're seeing on the screen, this, that makes theoretical sense. All the voices lead, but I can strum that a little more aggressively. And it's got a little bit more power because of the open strings. So again, you know, you can do some variation in there. The point is you want to land on a G7 chord. So what I'd like to do now is just play the intro up to that point in the song for you. Okay? And I'm going to do it nice and slow. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. we go, verse. Now here we go. Okay, and that's what we're up to. Now I want to show you one other thing that I did there. On this chord, you know, I'm not always happy with the right hand sound, but sometimes I just do literally 2 fingers. I think of my hand like as though I'm a puppeteer, you know, or like a Kermit the Frog puppet. Because the main thing I need there is a punch. I don't like to go in with 3 fingers and try to be too careful. And without any picks or fingernails, it's very hard to get enough power on that kind of sound. So I'll either do that or I'll go with the strum. So all right. Pluck, pluck, pluck. Okay. Main thing there is the groove and that I get enough power. So I go for that over typical guitaristic precision. Alrighty, let's go to the next lesson, and I'm going to show you bars 7 and 8. All right. Alrighty, welcome back. We are at bars 7 and 8 of the main melody of Hallelujah, I Love Her So. And where I left you off was on this G7 chord. If we play it like that, it's a G13. If we play it like that, it's a G9. And if that all sounds like crazy jazz stuff, don't worry about it. It's just G7. So we're going to hit that on beat 1. It's going to sound like 1, 2, 3, 4, bap, right? And then that's the melody. So now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a diminished 7th chord, but I'm going to do kind of a fancy finger picking thing over here to add some interest. Now the melody is simply going to be, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm doing I'm barring the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string. I'm putting my 3rd finger on the 4th fret, 4th string, and I'm putting my 2nd finger on the 4th fret, 6th string. So I'm getting these notes. Okay. Now the melody, bam, bo, doo, 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 bum, bum, bum. That's going to be the melody. So imagine that's the vocal, but we're going to go like this. Watch this. This is how I'm doing it. I'm putting my 3rd finger here to mute, and I'm going, and then I'm sliding the whole thing up 3 frets, and I'm doing a pinch. And the rhythm is 1, 2, 3, 4. So, boo de go bip on bam. So if you're gonna have to look at that, improve your groove, the 12/8 stuff that I have here on the site. So I'm going, and I'm going back to the bass. Let me play that rhythm for you a couple of times so that you hear it. Now, again, you don't have to do this. I'm just decorating the rhythm. You could go, but I'm going on big bip on bip, or I'm going, there it was. Now, the reason I'm doing some of these stab kind of chords and single line melodies is to try to simulate the little dance that goes on in the Ray Charles version where the big band does a hit and then he's singing, and they do these very tight hits and leave a lot of space. So I'm trying to hint at that kind of sound. So after that, it's going to go and then slide, and as you get up to the 7th fret, you're going to hit the open D string. So it's like this: 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and that's going to put you in actually bar 9 of the head. It's a little longer A section. So do your best with that funny 12/8 thing. It sounds complicated, but I'm doing something very comfortable for my right hand. Again, I want you to stay comfortable, and by all means, stay in the groove. Don't get caught into like thinking you need to practice arpeggios for 10 years before you can play this. Just go with your groove with this one. And if you just got to go bop, 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 that's fine. Okay, so now what I'm going to play for you is bars 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nice and slow. 1, 2, ready, and. Okay. All righty. Let's go to the next video, bars 9 and 10 of the melody. All right. All right, welcome back. We are at bars 9 and 10 of the melody. And I left you with the beginning of bar 9. Okay, we're on a D. That's basically a D harmony. Oh, yes and no. Now we're going to go to the 2nd fret. And we're going to go. So it's like we're barring. Sorry, I went kind of fast there. We're outlining an F sharp 7 chord. And we are barring the 2nd fret, playing the bass. And then. So for that, I'm having my right hand ready on the 6th string and the 2nd and 3rd string. Now that's just filler. There's no melody happening there. Okay. Now watch. 4th finger, 3rd finger, 2nd finger, and 3 fingers on the right hand plucking. We're going to go. Down 7th fret down to the 5th fret. Now watch. Looks like the outside of a G7 chord. And you're going to pull off. You actually don't have to do that last pull off. Okay. So I'm going to play bar 5 till this point, okay? That was kind of fast. Let me do that nice and slow for you. Starting again at bar 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and. So the next video, we're going to go to bars 11, I believe it's 11 and 12. 11 and 12, and that's going to complete an A section. And the next video is a tricky one, okay? But once you've got an A section down, you've got most of the tune down, okay, I would say. So, well, we've got about half of the tune, we could say. Okay, so let's go on to the next lesson. All right. Alrighty, welcome back. We are at bars 11 and 12 of the melody on Hallelujah, I Love Her So. And this is a tricky little spot to play, and I'm going to show you my solution, okay? If you've ever looked at my piece entitled Vitamin E Blues, there's a walking line against a bluesy melody, and you've got to grab a lot of these shapes. This is similar, but what I've done here is I've tried to make it as simple and as reliable a solution as I could find. So I've tried to simplify it to the max. Not for you, but for me, so that when I go out on stage, I don't miss this, hopefully. Okay, so here we go. You're going to take your second finger and you're going to plant it on the high E string. And that's your anchor. We're not going to play that. We're going to leave it there because we're going to do the entire melody on the sixth, or the two melodies going against each other on the sixth and on the second string. I found this to be much more reliable than switching treble strings or trying to include chords. This sort of laid the best. Okay, so let's go. Open E string and the 6th fret with your 4th finger. Okay. Now you're going to move that down. 2nd fret down low, 5th fret up high. Now with the 2nd and 3rd finger, 3rd fret. Next, move your 2nd finger up. Going to have that with the open B string. Next, 2 of these. And then we're going to end on some kind of D chord with D in the melody. You can do this. We're going to strum that. Something that I sometimes like to do, it's kind of a jazzy chord. I'm still a little undecided. It doesn't have the D in the bass, but it's a D13 chord. It looks like this. Because the listener's ear will be following the top melody. Let me play this set of shapes for you really slow, almost like walking bass line tempo. Okay, but remember, it's gonna sound like Hallelujah, I love her so. It's that fast. Okay, so you're gonna have to practice this nice and slow to teach the muscles where to go and make the instincts fast. Let's look at it slow. Looks like this. Sorry. That was it. Okay. So let's look at it from bar 9. Oh yes, I know. I'm going out of time. Slide that up. Okay. With a swing. 1, 2 from bar 9. A 1, 2, 3. And then we put an A chord, or with the open. That's It's an A sus chord. And one thing that I do sometimes, if I want to strum that with an open A, I'll just barely touch my thumb over the top to mute the low sixth string. Okay, so how's about I play this from the intro, from the top, just so that you can hear everything leading up to this point, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Verse. Okay, there's a second A section, and it's exactly the same except for the last chord, so there's no need for another lesson on this. It goes, that's how the second A section, you've seen this chord now, that A flat 7. Now if you look at the top 3 notes, you'll notice it's the same thing as a D7, just with a different bass note. So the way that that second A section will sound is, and then we're going to be into the bridge at that point. Alrighty, you're doing fabulous. You got the intro now. You got the first 2 A sections. You're going to have to practice a little bit. Let's go to the next video, and I'm going to show you bars 1 and 2 of the bridge. All right.